Here's a video on another approach to forest farming in a series. There should be some more of these. And so I just want to show you what the finished product looks like. Well, finished so far as the initial prunings and felling that happened. These are some old stumps that were stuck in this area. Let me come back out a little bit. You can see I've left that one stump because it's beautiful. It'd be nice to have something grow up. And this morning came through this whole area and took out all of the brush and shrubs. This was all graybark dogwood, Japanese honeysuckle, and garlic mustard. And now it is fully shredded down to the ground and with a thick layer of hay on top. A couple good rains and this should start rotting really nicely. And by this time next year, it's early May 2009 right now, I should be able to plant into here some really nice brambles, some herbs and things. Yeah, let's talk about how this went about and show you some pictures of the before.
So this is kind of a long shot, but it gets the point across. You can see I'm in there pruning away. I've got some Felco number 2 hand pruners representing my favorite tools of all time for sure. And I'm just basically going through and pruning everything as low as I can, snipping it up as I go along. I've also got a little hand saw, and once I get the bits cut down as far as I can, I go through with the hand saw and actually get the bottoms of the stems of each of them cut down to ground level. So you can see it's a pretty full thicket at first here, but with just those two tools that both fit in back pockets, I can go through and basically get the whole area laid out flat to ground. All that material gets stomped down, gets to rest for a year or so, and will break down into some really nice soil for next year. There's the folding saw coming out, working on that. I'm going to speed up the rest of this so you get the idea of it. We'll get on some more interesting shots. Last bit of pruning in here, you can see just a few more pieces. I won't bore you with the details of watching this one, but you can see that only took about an hour or two at that pace I was going, where I had sped it up. Yeah, it was pretty straightforward, and again, just with two tools. You had a couple people in there and you get it done real quick, and you can pretty much transform any shrubland area or low-lying woodland into an open gap that you can work and add fertility and soil protection at the same time with this approach. Pretty easy. So all the shredding is done. You can see the area is clear. Coming through with my trusty axe to work down some of these stumps. The reason I'm doing that is basically those stumps of the old spruce trees are really well rotted, and the material in there is actually would be quite useful in the garden rather than being up high, still exposed to the air. It's something I want to bust down and get into the garden space so that the plants can use it, act as a nice little sponge. So I went through with the axe and busted up a few of these guys. I'll speed this part up too.
Red rock. It looks like a geologic feature from the southwest. I was chopping this with the axe, as you can see in the other part of the video, and decided to stop here because it's got a really beautiful color to it, and thought this would be a really interesting kind of borderline surreal thing to have in the center of the garden. Nice herbs and brambles running up alongside it. And I left this specimen for now. Probably take it out later. It'll be looks like it's growing pretty vigorously, so it might be a nice little decent biomass thing. I think it's some sort of cherry. There's the other stump. Looks like the tree is plunging into the ground. Okay, so this is the actual after. Did some more work in here. Took down a Scotch pine and a spruce, and you can see there's more material around the edges. We'll take a look over there. All this material came from this tree. It was right here. It finished the series of all the other Scotch pine that came down in its area in the fall. And then I took all the greens and cut them down and put them into this bed. This is going to take a while to mature. I'm looking at 2 to 3 years before I can plant into this one. But anyway, over here is the finished product of today's work. It's all hayed down. All the material that came down, that was cut, was broken down as far as possible and laid underneath a layer of about 4 to 6 inches of hay. The spruce that came down over here, you can see the remnant of the trunk. I've been cutting discs off of that. That's going to make the pathway. This is just kind of a rough lay-in for now, but that pathway will continue all the way around over here. Let's take a look at the other side. So here's a stump of the spruce. My northern gooseberry came through unscathed. I'm pretty excited about that. I was pretty sure it was going to be fine, but I was a little nervous. I got this character out of the deal. Looks kind of like a weasel with its arms out. There's its mouth. There's his beady eye. Anyway, he's going to go up somewhere. It's kind of just for fun. But let's get back to the actual garden. So, the trunk of the spruce and those discs worked out pretty nicely to frame out the actual formal entranceway into the space. You can see there's, I'm going to hay that in a little. But these are the discs you can walk on and come into the garden. So we don't have to step on the hay as much. It's probably a little dizzying, sorry. And I framed the red rock geological feature. That's kind of cheesy. I framed the red rock thing with spruce boughs. And yeah, that's the project. That was a lot of fun. Probably about 6 hours of labor in total. There's more hay for other things. Thank you very much for watching.